Hey, BecomingMe.TV, Emily Cummins here. We're in this series right now called Questions. Everyone is asking, but no one wants to answer. Today, we're going to dive into the question, how can I get out of debt financially? Hey, join us as my warrior friend Katie unpacks this question.
Everyone, I'm Katie, and today's question is how can I get out of debt financially? This is a question that is near and dear to my heart because it is something that I am living daily. Money is really difficult to talk about. It's a really sensitive subject for a lot of us, and a lot of times it's surrounded by shame and embarrassment, especially when we're in debt. About 2.5 years ago, I was rock bottom in regards to my finances. I was working a really great job, full-time job, paying me really well, but I was spending way more money than I had. And I remember pretty vividly, it was August 14th. I was about halfway through the month, and I had about $14 left in my checking account, and that was supposed to last me for the next 2 to 3 weeks, which obviously wasn't going to happen. So I was using a lot of credit cards to buy groceries and things that I shouldn't have been using credit cards for, and was just really at rock bottom. Knew that something needed to change, but really wasn't quite sure how to get there. And in a total God moment, I was volunteering with an organization in my city one day and was just having a conversation with a woman that I'd met before but didn't know very well. And she made the comment that Dave Ramsey really helped her family, and they had gone through Financial Peace University. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, but his company is in Nashville. He's best known for Financial Peace University, which is a 9-week course that a lot of churches host. Businesses will host it as well, but it's a practical course that helps you learn how to manage your money and get out of debt. And so she was just saying that Dave Ramsey had really helped her family, and I, in a really nonchalant way, was just like, oh, I really need some help. I've tried to read his book, but that's about the extent of my knowledge with him. And by the end of the evening, she told me that she was going to send me to Financial Peace University, that there was a class coming up, and she was going to pay for me to go. And I was in tears in a parking lot with a woman that I hardly knew. So that was kind of the beginning of my financial turnaround. I went from overspending every month by about $400 to learning how to live within my means, save money, pay off debt, and still have fun. So I wasn't having just to eat rice and beans all the time. I was able to do things with my friends and that type of thing. And so to date, I've paid off $18,000 in about 2.5 years, and I have about $11,000 to go, which I'm really hoping to get paid off by the end of next year. And so it's been a really long and rewarding road with quite a bit more to go. But here are some practical steps on how I got there, if this is something that you're struggling with as well. First of all, you have to get a plan. The best thing I can tell you, or tell anyone to do really, is to sign up for a financial peace class. I do not work for Dave Ramsey's company, but I wholeheartedly believe in his program. And there are definitely other get out of debt classes out there, but Financial Peace University, to my knowledge, is the best known. A lot of churches all across the country will host it, and so it shouldn't be very difficult to find a class near you. Again, it's about a 9-week course. It comes equipped with a workbook and a book and DVDs and that type of thing. And you want to go to a class because it places you in community with other people who are going through the same thing that you're going through, which is really helpful when you, especially if you feel like you're the only person in debt. So it's really helpful to be with a group of people that are going through the same struggles that you're going through. A lot of what you're going to learn in class is common sense, but what you find with working with money is that it's 80% behavior and 20% knowledge. So 20% of this is stuff that you already know, but you've got to change your behavior, which is 80% of the battle. So you're going to be working against habits that you've had for me, it was 28 years, changing habits with money that I'd had for that long. And bad habits die hard. So it's just really good to be in community with other people that are going through the same thing. Second, you've got to get a budget. You cannot just spend your money willy-nilly, which I've tried to do. I was like, oh, I know about how much money I spend on groceries each month and this kind of thing. And I was allowing my money to dictate the budget instead of me dictating where my money went. And so a budget helps you tell every single dollar where to go. You've got to stick to it. There are a lot of different budgeting tools out there. Dave Ramsey's company has Every Dollar, which is an online budget and an app. I use an old Excel file, which was what I've been using for 2.5 years, and I'll probably never change because it's what I'm used to and it's what works for me. But you've got a budget really helps you. It seems like it's going to restrict you, but it actually frees you up to spend money once you know where it's going. I can't tell you how many times at the end of the month I would look at my checking account and be like, where did all my money go? I have nothing to show for it. And so this really helps you understand where every single dollar is going. So find a system that works for you and work the plan. Step 3 is going to be to get an accountability partner, or what I like to call get a Lonnie. Lonnie is the woman that sent me to Financial Peace University, and she quickly became my budget accountability partner. I would meet with her every single week. We would go over my numbers. We would set a strategy for how I was going to save money for my emergency fund, which is a savings account for emergencies, so that you don't have to tap into any of that money that you're paying toward your debt. She would come up with strategies, or together would come up with strategies how I was going to pay off debt. And it's just it's got to be someone that you're going to trust really well, and that you're going to be really open to being vulnerable with, because again, you're going to be going over your numbers, and money is of course a very vulnerable subject. So if you're married, it'll be your spouse. If you're engaged, it'll be your fiance. But if you're single, you're going to have to find yourself a Lonnie as well. And then lastly, you just need to pray. It seems like a really practical and factual journey, but it's actually a pretty spiritual journey as well, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to figure out how to be the best steward of your money. And we know really it's not your money, it's God's money, because God is the one that gifted you with the income and the job that you have. And so you just want to be a good steward of that money. You don't want this debt hanging over you. It can cause a lot of anxiety and really make you feel like you're choking, and what you're really fighting for is financial freedom. And so the enemy is going to hone in on this time and time again and try to get you to spend money on things that you can't afford, things that you don't need, just because you want to keep up with the Joneses, or that kind of thing. And so you're going to have to fight against that. You need to stay the course, pray through that, get people to pray for you. Paying off debt is not an easy journey, but it is one that is so rewarding and is really worth it in the long end. And so Dave's famous line is, if you live like no one else, then later you can live and give like no one else. So when you're struggling and you're tired, keep that line in mind. And just know that people are praying for you. I'm praying for you. I don't even know you, but I'm praying for you because I know this can be such a difficult journey. But again, it is worth it in the long run. People are rooting for you. So keep that in mind. I hope that you have found these steps helpful. And just know that your financial freedom is worth more than you can ever imagine. So stay the course and fight hard.